If you're living in Minneapolis right now, there's a really good chance you've asked yourself this: should I keep renting or should I finally buy a home? And here's the problem. Most advice you'll hear online is way too simple. Renting is throwing money away. Buying is always better. But neither of those are actually true, because depending on your situation, buying too early can cost you thousands, and waiting too long, that can quietly cost you even more. So in this video, I'm going to break this down in a way that actually helps you make the right decision based on your situation, not just general advice. Let's start with something most people don't talk about enough. There are situations where renting is actually the better move. Not just okay, not fine, strategically better. For example, if you're planning to move out of the Twin Cities in the next 1 to 2 years, buying probably doesn't make sense, because when you buy, there are upfront costs, closing costs, moving costs, potential repairs, and when you sell later, there are selling costs too. So if you don't hold or live in the property long enough, you might not break even. Another situation, maybe your income isn't stable yet. Maybe you're changing jobs, maybe you work commission, maybe you're growing a business. Buying locks you into a fixed monthly obligation. Renting can give you some breathing room. And then there's this one. You don't have savings built up yet, because owning a home isn't just the down payment. It's repairs, maintenance, unexpected costs. Water heater goes out? That's on you. Roof issue? That's on you. So renting in that phase of life protects your cash flow. So in all of those situations, renting isn't a step backward, it's positioning. And in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly when that flips and buying starts giving you a real advantage financially. You've probably heard this before: renting is throwing money away. And I get where that comes from, but it's not the full picture. When you rent, you're paying for something very real: convenience and flexibility. Think about it. Your payment is predictable, you're not dealing with repairs, you're not managing maintenance, and you can move when your lease is up. That's valuable. But here's the trade-off. You're not building ownership. So instead of asking, is renting bad, the better question is, what am I giving up by continuing to rent? And that's where buying starts to enter the conversation. Buying typically starts to make sense when 3 things line up: time, stability, and financial readiness. Time. This is the biggest one. If you plan to stay at least 3 to 5 years, buying starts to work in your favor, because over time, your loan balance goes down, your ownership increases, and you start building equity. Short term, risky. Long term, powerful. Stability. You want stable income, predictable finances, and confidence in your job or business, because once you own, you're responsible for everything. And financial readiness. This doesn't mean you need 20% down, but you do need some savings, a financial buffer, and a plan for unexpected costs. When those 3 things line up, buying shifts from risky to strategic. Here's where most people go wrong. They compare rent versus mortgage payment. That's it. And that's a mistake, because a mortgage payment includes principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So yes, your monthly payment might be higher than rent, but here's the key difference. Part of that payment is going back to you. That's equity. And over time, that starts to matter more and more. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. The decision to buy comes down to time. Not the market, not headlines, and not what your friends are doing. Time. Ask yourself this: how long do I realistically plan to stay? Because short stay, renting often wins. A longer stay, buying often wins. This one question simplifies everything. Now, let's talk about Minneapolis specifically, because this isn't a one-size-fits-all market. You've got different price points across different neighborhoods, different rent versus buy gaps, and different long-term growth patterns. In some areas, renting and owning are very closely monthly. In others, there's a bigger gap, which means the right decision depends on your exact situation, not just general advice. And this is what most people miss. It's not about timing the market perfectly, it's about timing your life correctly. Because when your timing is right, the numbers tend to work themselves out over time. So if you're trying to figure out, should I rent or should I buy right now, I can break that down for you pretty quickly based on your numbers, your timeline, and your goals. And if you're leaning toward buying, the next step is to understand how much home you can actually afford.